This is my What I Eat in a Day Slimming World edition. So I started off by just having an apple. I wanted to go to the earlier weighing group, which started at 8, so I didn't really have much time this morning. Then if you've seen already, I did go to group and I lost £3, which I'm really pleased about. I then made these noodles in a jar, in a glass, that type of thing. There is a recipe attempt down below and they were really nice. I really liked it. It's definitely something I'm going to make again, and actually kept me full for quite a long time, even though it seemed like there wasn't a lot there. You know, obviously the noodles are really thin, but actually it was really nice. And I counted 2.5 sins for that. I then did some veg prep because I'd been to the supermarket, so I got everything all chopped up and ready. Had one of these Skinny Dream Rocky Road bars as one of my healthy bee, and then for my tea I had a chicken with some speed food salad on the side with a sin of Caesar dressing and some parmesan to make up my healthy A. Someone had asked on my comments about if I was making lots of extra meals now that I was doing this plan, and the answer is no. Majority of the time my son and partner will just eat the same as me, maybe a slightly different portion. On this night my son had really wanted some what he calls pipe pasta, which is like a bachelor pasta and sauce, chicken and mushroom, so I made that for him, and I added some sausage and some broccoli just to make sure that he was getting like a healthy balance. Then my partner had, similar to me, but he had some of that pasta as well. He'd been on quite a long bike ride and needed some carbs. And I also did him one of the little chicken sausages to try. So I'm sort of trying to mix and match a little bit of what I cook if there's nights where they don't want to have exactly the same as me, because I don't want to be cooking loads of different meals. I finished off the night with, I really needed some chocolate. So I had 4 of these Skinny Whip minis, which were 1.5 sins each, so 6 sins. And my other healthy extra B on this Skinny Crunch Mint. So I ended the day on 9.5 sins. So it was 2.5 for the noodles, 1 for the Caesar dressing, and 6 for the chocolates, which I'm pretty pleased about. And that was it for I had a little lie-in this day, which I was really pleased about. So I just had an apple for breakfast because I knew we were trying to eat before we went out for the day and it wouldn't be that long in between. So I made for myself and my partner these mason jar style chicken noodles, which were really nice. It was just half a sin for the gochujang paste. I did make these yesterday and I did sesame oil. I definitely didn't think you need it, and I made them for my partner today and he really enjoyed them as well. We also stopped and had a coffee and watched some of the skiers and the snowboarders going down the slope. Everyone else had like coffee and ice cream and things like that, so I had one of the Skinny Dream bars so that I didn't feel too left out. When I had gone to the supermarket earlier in the week, I'd bought this packet of carrot and swede. I cannot remember why. However, when I was doing shepherd's pie that night, I thought, why don't I use it instead of potato? I've seen people doing this before, and use it instead of the mash, and it was okay. I'm not going to rave about it. I did put some parmesan on top like you would have done maybe if it was mashed potato. That did elevate it slightly. There is another portion in the fridge. It will get eaten, but it wasn't my favourite meal ever, to be quite honest. And then I ended the day with a Skinny Crunch Mint bar for my healthy extra B, my other half of it. I'm conscious that obviously I only had half a sin this day, and that's happened quite a few times. I need to think about how I'm using my sins. I'm not necessarily trying to not use them, but I haven't needed to. I've not felt hungry. I've not felt deprived any of these days. And obviously I do have quite a bit of weight to get off quite quickly, but what I don't want to do is deprive myself so much that I'm starting to feel like this is a diet and feeling quite miserable about it. So I think while I'm feeling positive, that's fine, but I do need to look maybe at ways of introducing sins if I feel that I want them. So I knew I'd be out of the house for quite a long time today. I had some staff training and it was going to be quite a long one. So I made sure to pack up my cool bag with lots of different options in there, and it all got eaten. So I started off, obviously, make sure I've got my utensils. That'd be the worst thing if you'd done all this prep and then didn't actually have what you needed. I took a Skinny Crunch bar, which was going to be half of my healthy extra B for the day. I had a Pepsi Max cherry, my thought what in the afternoon, something to give me a little bit of a caffeine-y, sugary style type hit in case my attention was waning a little bit. I did steal some of my son's plastic box for this with the little cute dinosaur, but I did myself some breakfast, which was a large apple, yoghurt, raspberry and strawberry, so I knew that there was going to be a morning break on this session, so I had that then. I then obviously had a couple of ice blocks in there because I knew there wouldn't be a fridge to store anything in, and I'd wanted to take my salad and my breakfast, and I didn't want that to get warm throughout the day. So I had my usual ham salad. I had that with some celery, carrot and some sliced cucumber. I had 2 of the Baby Bell Light, and I had 2 tablespoons worth of Caesar dressing. It's the Asda Light Caesar dressing, which is 1 sin for 2 tablespoons. And this is me just showing off my nice colourful salad. This is my patient for the day. You'll be glad to know I passed all my assessments and my patient was nice and healthy at the end of the day. For tea, I wanted to make this Instagram style lasagna that my partner had sent me. It was off Kitchen Diaries by Zubda. It was just your normal lasagna, but instead of having pasta in layers, you had like little tuber pasta. Of course, I couldn't find those big tuber pastas, so I had to settle for these ones. I wouldn't make this again just because of how faffy it was. I did use a spaghetti bolognese that I already had in the freezer, and I blitzed that down just to take some of the chunks out so that I could get it in the little holes of the pasta a little bit easier. I then made the topping like a bechamel style sauce, and I'd used the recipe off the Slimming World website. So it was 2 eggs and 500 gram of the natural plain yogurt. I only ended up using about half of this because it was actually quite a lot for the amount of pasta that I'd made. I wasn't sure on the consistency. It sort of said beat the 2 eggs and the yogurt together until like you get a smooth consistency. I wasn't sure that I got to that smooth consistency, but I felt like I'd been whisking it together for quite a while. It actually tasted really, really nice. The look of it was not necessarily what I expected. It had separated slightly. And then I did put 120 grams worth of mature cheddar cheese on there as well. It actually tasted really, really nice. We will definitely have this again. My partner and my son both ate it as well, and they really liked it. And obviously I put it together with a little bit of speed salad on the side. I didn't have any dressing. I don't know why I kept thinking to myself I should have had some dressing, but actually there was some sauce from the lasagna. In the evening, I did actually finish with a Rocky Road Skinny Dream Bar, which I forgot to take a picture of. And I did a FaceTime with some family that are on holiday. I actually noticed for the first time that my double chin wasn't quite as pronounced as it usually is. I wasn't having to look up so much. So I'm counting that as a little non-scale victory. Here's my little picture. Obviously, I do still have a double chin, and certainly in certain angles, but I just noticed that like my face has got a little bit more shape, which I was really happy about. So I'm ending the day on just 1 sin, which was for the Caesar dressing, which I'm quite happy about. Obviously, my sins have been low again, but again, I've not gone hungry or felt deprived or anything just at the minute. And I will see you tomorrow. I started off with 2 Weetabix and 120 ml of semi-skimmed milk. I then had a chopped salad with half a sin worth of the Asda Light Caesar dressing and 15 grams of shaved parmesan. I actually forgot to put any meat in this, so I nipped into the shop and had these pork slices that were from Aldi. They were half a sin for the whole pack. I intended to just eat a couple, although I'd actually already eaten my dinner at this point. However, I was sat in traffic for absolutely ages and ended up eating the whole pack, but I felt fine with that half a sin. That was fine. This was me going into the gym. I haven't been in about 5 days and I could really tell the difference. I did 20 minutes on the treadmill. However, that was more walking than I'd been doing last time because I was doing splits, runs and walks. I did film me running. However, it was way too explicit for TikTok, if you know what I mean. When I got home, I had the shepherd's pie that I'd made with carrot and swede the other day because it was left over in the fridge. I was rushing about, so it was really good that I had something in the fridge ready, and I also had the lasagna from last night in the fridge ready to do for my partner's tea. And I finished off the day with these barbecue crisps. They were only 4 sins and they were actually really nice. Just something to like fill me up a little bit. This is one of the only days where I could have absolutely gone crazy and had a load of chocolate. I really was craving something, but I knew if I started it'd be really difficult to stop, and I just resisted, and I was really pleased with myself. This was my Fitbit, so I did my 10,000 steps for the day, which was really cool. And I noticed that my sleep yesterday, I'd got quite a rubbish sleep in terms of deep sleep, so I'm hoping that improves over the next few weeks. See you tomorrow. edition. So I took some advice from some of you guys about what I could put with breakfast in terms of speed food, and I added some spinach to my omelette. I also added sweet corn, but I don't think that's a speed food, and I had 30 grams of mature cheddar cheese, and that really kept me going for quite some time, so I had it as a late breakfast. I had an apple, and then I also had one of the mint skinny crunch bars as half of my healthy extra B. I had some diced beef in the freezer that needed using up. You might know that I'm trying to empty my freezer at the minute. And I had a Gusto recipe card for beef bourguignon. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I was quite easily able to adapt the recipe. So the only thing that I added that I think was sins was 2 tablespoons worth of flour, but this did make 9 portions. So I'm going to count it as a sin per portion. That's probably overestimating slightly. I had a 500 gram pack of diced beef. I tried to trim any visible fat off it. I seasoned it with salt and pepper and added 2 tablespoons of flour. I put some fry light into a pan, got that hot, and then fried this off. And then put that to the side. In the same pan, I softened up some onion, garlic, and large chunks of carrot. This is where I made a change to the recipe. So I used 2 of the red wine stock pots, 2 OXO stock cubes, and 30 grams of tomato puree. This was to make 1.6 litres worth of stock. So actually, although it looks like quite a lot in that jug, obviously it was 2 jugs full of hot water. So I popped that all into the pan, let it come up to a boil, put all the beef and all the vegetables and everything back into that same pot, let it boil for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then I put it in the oven. I actually put it slightly lower than what it suggested on the recipe card, so I put it in at 160 because I knew I was putting it in for about an hour and a half. I did not take enough videos of making this, but it was absolutely delicious. I would like to say this was my plate, but it wasn't. That was my son's. This was my plate. I didn't have any speed food on the side. I don't like broccoli, and that's what I was making. I had one of these mini Viennese, like a Viennetta style mini on a stick ice cream. They were really nice, and for just 4 sittings, they're going to be like a really good little treat for me. However, I ate it too quickly after dinner, so I didn't sort of enjoy it. We were busy chatting away. Everyone else got a little dessert. I just had mine, and before I knew it, it was gone. And I thought, oh, I didn't really take the time to enjoy that or anything like that. I did, however, have my other healthy extra B, which was Skinny Dream Rocky Road bar, and that was a nice sweet treat. We were watching Pitch Perfect this night. I'm ending my day on 5 sins, and I actually got my 10,000 steps in. I didn't actually realise this yesterday, and I was actually really close to not getting it. I actually only looked now and screenshotted it, so I'm pretty pleased I'm getting my steps up as well. See you tomorrow. I nearly forgot to take a picture, as you can tell, because I was already halfway down, but I had an apple on the way to work. When I got there, I had 2 Weetabix with 120ml of semi-skimmed milk. I had a chicken chop salad for my dinner with some carrots and celery, some chicken from Aldi, which was sin-free, and 30 grams of parmesan and 2 tablespoons worth of the Asda low-calorie Caesar dressing, which was 1 sin. This is the chicken I used. Like I say, I said it was sin-free from Aldi. I was quite surprised because obviously not everything is. However, it was a little bit watery and I won't be buying it again. For tea, I was having the beef bourguignon from the night before. I didn't want to make chips because I didn't really have much time this evening, so I made some courgette. I started off by putting them into a pan, no oil or anything like that, just to cook out a little bit of the water. I then added some Worcestershire sauce when I'd got a little bit of brown on them, and had it with my beef bourguignon, which is 1 sin, and it was really, really nice. I'm not a massive fan of veggies, but these were so easy to do and actually really nice. I then went for a walk. If you've seen my other TikTok, saw a few sights on the way. I just felt like I had quite a lot of energy. When I got back, I had one of these Aldi Viennese. It's like a little Viennetta on a stick for 4 sins. Absolutely brilliant. So I ended the day on 6 sins. It was 1 sin for the Caesar dressing, 1 sin for the beef bourguignon, and 4 for the ice cream. That video ended up ending a little bit abruptly because there was loads of wittering on that nobody needed to hear. There's only 6 days in this video because I was getting weighed a day early. Hope you're enjoying the content that I'm uploading. Do all the liking and subscribing and things like that. And I've got quite a few more ready to go and upload. Bye!